Hey everyone, it's James with geometriccharts.com. It's May 7th, about 6:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's Tuesday, which is not normal for me. I'm sorry about not doing yesterday's video. Did not get in till very late last night. I had a family emergency, so everything's fine there, thankfully. But that's the reason why there was no communication at all, and I did not do the Monday video. And again, I'm sorry. I know a lot of people look forward to it, but this week though, I'm gonna have the video today, and I'm gonna do another video on Thursday. I'm gonna go away for the weekend, so I just want to get these videos out ahead of that, and then that way, hopefully, we'll see what happens. What I think is happening in the market is I think we're getting to a very toppy zone in this market. I feel like we've made one heck of a stretch. Everyone, or not everyone, but a majority of this market is just like, this thing's just going to keep going up. It's not going to correct. Bitcoin is in a bull market. And most people's eyes that are looking at the prior charts and stuff is like this, like there's never a corrective move. It's just going to shoot straight to the moon and go to 740,000 Bitcoin. But I got a feeling that we are lining up for a pretty nasty drop in this market. And the best thing to say is that in any market, doesn't matter what the asset is, vertical price movement leads to vertical price movement. And the more vertical this asset gets, and you can look on any asset out there, it doesn't matter which one it is, the more aggressive the corrective move will be. And that corrective move is just a profit-taking event. And in some cases, it can become a complete retracement. It can just become an attack on the market because big money sees the opportunity and they want to create that chaos to create themselves another opportunity in the market in a very similar circumstance to what happened at the 6,000. I mean, it's just the name of the game. In every single market out there, you got bigger players that are looking for people to get complacent, to get happy, and not pay attention to the flip side of the coin. And the flip side of the coin is that corrective move. The flip side of the coin is, what if this is just a guppy rally that could lead to a serious drop off in this market? And people would think that, I don't need to stop, I'll just keep piling money in, I'm going to become mega rich. You got people like Tom Lee and others out there that have big names that are like, don't worry about it, you're going to become a trillionaire. This is going to be the easiest way you'll ever make money in your life. You don't have to work for it. Don't worry, this is it, And a lot of people treat this market like that, like it's guaranteed money for them, and they're all going to become filthy rich. And I know it because I can see the comments that I get sometimes on some of my videos. We're like, you're wrong, this thing's going straight to the moon, blah blah. Especially on some of my more bearish videos. But the point is that we've made a really good move, right? And it could be lining up to definitely produce a much bigger move in the near future. I'm not trying to crap all over crypto, but what I think is happening here is that we have a big giant relief rally. We've already seen some of the altcoins do that, and the altcoins that have done it, like ADA and Litecoin, they made some pretty nasty corrective moves. I mean, even some of the smaller coins that made some pretty decent pops have made some really nasty corrective moves already. So, and Bitcoin's just kind of chugging along. And, I told it to my subscribers, I said, the way that this looks is like, and I'm sure if there's anyone who's been following me for a long time, watching these videos, you've heard this analogy before, to where the alts are like the hikers that went up the mountain first, and they just got mauled to death by the bear, right, during the corrective move. And they're coming down the mountain like screaming, and Bitcoin's just humming along, going up the mountain, just whistling, and the alts are screaming, the hikers are screaming, don't go up there, there's a bear, he just attacked us, killed half of us, and whatever, to make it real gruesome. But the point is that they're flashing the warning sign and Bitcoin's just whistling away. Well, that did happen back in the past. It actually happened, I'm pretty sure it was right in this area. to where we started to notice this divergence, this underlying weakness in the market. And while this time could lead to just a regular corrective move and not a 100% retracement of the market, I'm not going to pretend I know that answer yet. That's a complete crystal ball question. That's what time is going to have to reveal to us, and that's what I'm waiting for to change my longer term picture, which is definitely still bearish on this market. And I'm not bearish as it's going to zero. I just think we're still in a downtrend, and they're creating one hell of a sucker's rally until proven otherwise. I'm going to stay very objective to this the entire time and not get caught up in the hype, because the hype isn't what makes you money. You have to think like a contrarian. You have to think on what could potentially go wrong, or where is big money planning, what are they potentially planning next. And that's why I say that vertical price movement leads to vertical price movement, because it leads to a perfect opportunity to create chaos and generate more wealth in the future for bigger players. And that's all this is, the ebb and flow of big money creating opportunities for themselves. And if you're lucky enough, you can catch it. So, I produce these videos just to kind of talk about it in a broader picture, not as in the micro movements of the daily thing. I do that with my subscribers day and night. But the point is that I still think that in the bigger picture, Bitcoin has further to go to the downside, unless this bigger move, which is unfolding, does lead to a higher low and successfully leads to a higher high. I mean, until that happens, Bitcoin is still realistically in a downward spiral. And this is just a massive dead cat bounce, aka sucker's rally, for anyone that's in the game or anyone that's been in the game for a long time. These things look very, very convincing, and everyone gets hyped up, and they start extrapolating these parabolic curves on everything they look at, and they start looking in the past, and they start going back to 2005 or whatever they're pulling up, and they're like, well, this happened then, this happened at this time, this is definitely going to happen again, blah blah. But clearly when you look in the bigger picture, we've just been declining, okay, under massive negative divergence since 20,000. I mean, that's just been the natural beast. We've had some blips through that area on the momentum, but everything has been negative for Bitcoin. So yes, it's potentially going to create a turnaround in the market, but we'll wait and see. But I do think we're getting very close to that toppy area for Bitcoin. Yes, there could be a little more upside, but I do think the rubber band is stretching very far. It's going to snap, and that corrective move is going to unfold, and that corrective move will shed light, And I think as long as Bitcoin can stay above maybe 4,800 or so on Bitfinex, I think that'll be a very positive sign for Bitcoin. But if it loses 4,800 and it starts crashing through, again, I think it's going to be a very bad sign for Bitcoin, as in a move back down into the low 3,000s. And if we're going through that crap again, then I'm sure everyone can extrapolate what's going to happen next. So, that's pretty much it for right now. I talked about if we broke out of the consolidation box, it was going to be a decent sized move to retrace this move, right? A giant relief rally. There we go. It's right there, unfolding. It has been unfolding. It was a good trade, and I definitely think we're getting toward the tail end of it. And then the flip side of the trade will be available there as well too. So, and like I said, if we hang above the 4,800 level, fine. I think Bitcoin will continue to pump upward, and we have a change in trend, more than likely, that is going to generate a nice upward movement. But I have my doubts, and those doubts will not be turned until I am proven otherwise. No matter how much hype is out there, no matter how many people try to backdate the data and say this happened at this point and blah blah, this market only has the memory of what's happened here recently. This is it. The market continuously changes. If you want to get stuck in the past, yeah, things can kind of mimic, but we're completely in a different situation than when we were back in 2005 or before we exploded up to 20,000 and stuff. It's a completely different thing. The market went through the bubble phase. A bubble is it's all about the psyche of the investors participating in the market. It has nothing to do. The vertical price movement is there, but the main focus is what happens to the human psyche during the process of the bubble. We went through it during when people were taking when you hear people are taking second mortgages out to invest, that's insanity. That is a bubble. That's like taking second mortgages out to buy pet rocks or Beanie Babies or whatever the latest craze is. That is insanity that can only be experienced within a bubble. Markets take years, sometimes decades to recover from bubbles, and sometimes they never do. It doesn't mean that Bitcoin is going to dive off a cliff, but I highly doubt, and I'd be willing, I tell you what, if I'm wrong on this and Bitcoin makes a parabolic move from here to 20,000 over the next few months, I will never do another YouTube video again. Like I would just eat crow for the rest of my life. But I literally think there is a negative 1% chance of that even happening. And I just don't see it happening. Again, I've been doing this for way too long. You see what's happening in the stock market. The stock market's made a massive run that's only comparable to like the dot-com bubble. The slope of the run, the frequency at which price is reacting to is very, very steep. And there's a nasty lull out there that is keeping everyone very complacent that, you know what, this market is just going to keep going up. It's never going to correct, blah, blah, blah. Now it's on shaky ground. Now they're going to try to play the political game and blame it on Trump and blame it on China and blame it on whatever they're going to do, the Keebler elves, etc. But the point is that markets get stretched. And when they get vertical, you better expect vertical price. And it's very hard for the human psyche to not extrapolate this type of movement because it's unfolding in front of your eyes day after day after day. So it just seems like, well, that is the natural course and there is no other course for it. And that's where they prey on those retail investors, aka guppies, and they come in and they just absolutely wreck them with these corrective moves. So hopefully that kind of like explains stuff to everyone. Hopefully it all makes sense. Again, I'm not probably not the best teacher in the world, but I just try to lay out there as best as I possibly can because I know a lot of people have gotten wrecked in this market, and I know a lot of people are looking for some crazy price movement in Bitcoin from this level. And there's a lot of big people out there in social media and just the media in general proclaiming some crazy projections for this market, and they've been doing that since the backside of 20,000. And unfortunately, people are looking for a story that sells, and what I talk about is unfortunately a harsh reality of what I've experienced in the past. So in various markets, like I said, this is not just applicable to Bitcoin. This is applicable to any market out there. Any significant data source. It doesn't matter what you're plotting. You could be plotting fish movement. If you reach to an extreme at one point, eventually something nasty is going to happen because things have just become like it's become chaotic in one way. So you have the flow of energy. It just becomes like very erratic, and it's like you're running full sprint. Eventually you're going to shut down. Whether your mind goes first, whether your body goes first, doesn't matter. Eventually you're going to shut down, and something very bad is going to happen if you push it to a very far extreme. So energy it can be stretched, like a rubber band. It's like stretching, but eventually there's going to be a snap back. And how quickly you recover from that snap back is will define on how the energy is going to continue to flow. So what I mean by that is we're stretching, snap, quick, okay. Obviously, now we're starting an uptrend and we're starting to continue upward, and the market is now reversing course. And yeah, we could entertain those crazy numbers in the future and come up with different line sets, projections, frequencies, etc. But that's kind of what I'm trying to say in a nutshell. So I don't mean to make it a long video. Very sorry for talking about 15 minutes. I did not plan to go that long. Hopefully everything makes sense to everybody, but I do think we're in that topping pattern, and I tried to explain in detail why I think we're arriving to that topping area, and that topping area could line us up, anyone who's looking for the opportunity for a very good move, another very good move, especially if this is the start of an uptrend. This could be a series of very good moves for long players over short players. And it's been a short dominated market, and the shorts have made tons and tons of money. All the big trades for myself and probably any of my subscribers have been from the short side. Some of the long rallies as well too. We call it the Loch Ness Monster trade. But the thing is that, if it's changing the tone, great. There's going to be plenty of opportunities in the future. But we're definitely, I believe, based on everything I use, based on what I'm seeing in price, based on what I'm seeing in sentiment, that we're getting to a very toppy zone in this market. And now the question is do we just retrace like a normal, natural corrective move and continue up, or do we completely collapse out and repeat the rest of the crap we've experienced since the backside of 20,000? So anyways, I really appreciate everyone's time. I'm very sorry for not doing the Monday video. If you do like the video, you like the content, please like, comment, subscribe, follow. I will do another video on Thursday, and then it'll just go back to the regular Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Unless we start to go horizontal, then it will just be Monday, Friday. But anyways, I hope everybody has a great day, great night, and thank you for listening.